Hey, everybody, it's John. Welcome back to the show and welcome back to the latest edition of the Live Cut. My guest with me this evening, you may know him from his work on the Contrarians, but most notably on his channel here on YouTube called Curlessmania. I am talking about my friend, Mr. Tom Curless. Tom, welcome to my show.
John, thank you so much for having me. I'm so psyched to be on your channel. We've been talking about this for a while. We finally made it happen.
Absolutely. And I am
Yes,
very happy that you're here and I hope to have you back pretty soon.
of
So,
course.
all
Yeah.
right. So, today we're going to do or talk about an album that doesn't get enough love or recognition, or maybe in this case, a lot of people may not know about. Now, everyone knows the first album that came out. This is the sequel that came out in 1995 by Mr. Peter Frampton. This is Frampton Comes Alive II. This was released on October 10, 1995 on IRS Records. It was a two-record set. Well, actually, it was just a one CD set at that point, but it was a 72-minute album. And 12 years later, this would be released in an expanded version that would have four songs on there that were originally on the seminal live album from 1976, which is Frampton Comes Alive. Now, Frampton Comes Alive, at the time it was released, it was huge. It was a game changer in live music albums. This sold to this date, it has sold 8 million copies alone in the United States. I believe it is the second biggest selling live album in the United States next to Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band Live 1975 to 1985. This was huge. This made Peter Frampton, it gave him three huge hit singles in the United States, which were Show Me the Way, Baby I Love Your Way, and Do You Feel Like We Do. This album, Frampton Comes Alive II, was released at a time when Peter was still putting out new material, but there were a lot of years in between the studio albums. This came out on the back of his self-titled album from 1994. And interestingly, with this live album, and Tom and I will go into this, a lot of songs on here are making their debut on the live album. They weren't on any studio albums until they came out on Frampton Comes Alive II. So, Tom, when did you first hear Peter Frampton's music?
Well, I would say it definitely was Frampton Comes Alive, the original. I mean, like many people, right? It was just it was everywhere in 1976. And I think in what was it, Wayne's World? There's a movie where they say something about in the suburbs, Frampton Comes Alive was like Tide, packets of Tide. It came in the mail,
Yeah, they did.
yeah, something like that. So it's so true. It was like, and I was in the suburbs in New Jersey, and I had three older sisters, and I remember one of my older sisters was a pretty big music person, and she had Frampton Comes Alive, and she played it a lot, and I got to know the album pretty well just from as a young kid, honestly. And it's like, so it's really in my DNA. The original Frampton Comes Alive is like, I still listen to it to this day, and I still think it's a phenomenal live record. Um, and so yeah, that was sort of my introduction, and then I became more as I became more of a music fan and collector. I got into Humble Pie
Okay.
and went backwards and kind of I really love Humble Pie. And then I started buying some of his solo records, like the first four albums before the big live album. And then so then yeah, so I've just been a fan ever since. And then I've seen him live a couple times, and he's just always really good live. And so I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan for sure.
Absolutely. I heard the big hits in real time because you and
Hmm.
I are around the same age. I would have been 5 years old in 1976.
Hmm.
So I heard those in real time. I didn't hear the album probably till the late 80s. because I was the oldest of my siblings. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, so that's what
Wow.
happened with me.
The opposite for you, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought the cassette probably around 1989 or 90 because I was a classic rock junkie, Rock 107, Scranton, Pennsylvania, which I always talk about
Yeah.
on my shows. So still locally owned and operated too, because they were one of the few stations that they didn't become part of that conglomerate where they were bought by Clear Channel or somebody like that.
Right, right,
So
right.
so I bought that album because you'd hear those three songs along with Something's Happening on Rock 107. And then I have adored this album ever since then. I bought that CD that I showed up because they put it out in a deluxe edition.
Mhm.
And I also have a original vinyl of it. It's not in the greatest shape, but my buddy was giving away all of his vinyl about 10 years ago. And he said, you can have the vinyl, just take it. And
Nice.
I'm like, I'll take this. It's got the big ring around the cover and all that. It's like, yeah, well, all those
Got some
old vinyl.
wear. It's got some wear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely got the wear on it.
Yeah.
So, but I was getting into them a little bit in the late 80s, early 90s because you heard a couple of these songs on Rock 107 and other album oriented rock stations at that point. And I've also seen them live. I seen them live 4 times, but I didn't see them live until 2014.
Mhm.
And a couple times it was just him, and the other times he was a co-headliner. The first time I saw him, Cheap Trick played a full set, and then Peter Frampton played a full set.
Yep.
And the next year I saw him, it was the Doobie Brothers, and then Peter Frampton.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
then the other 2 times he played like close to 2 hours when I
Mhm.
saw him. And when you see him live to this day, I mean, he's still a magnificent guitar player. That's his big thing. Like his voice may have gotten a little thinner over the years,
Mhm.
but his guitar playing, which I don't think was getting enough attention in 76, you,
Right.
now it's on full display. You hear what a magical guitar player he is. Very underrated because he was a star in the late
Yes.
70s.
Yes,
He was
exactly.
he was a pinup boy, even though he had talent out the wazoo, and he was a very handsome man.
Right.
He's still
Right.
a handsome older man at this point, but
Sure.
people forgot how well he could play guitar. I mean, unless you were with him from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so that's my Peter Frampton story. I did have in 92 they came out with Shine On, which was a 2 cassette compilation, and I had a copy of it and I no longer have it. That got me really familiar with his work as well.
Yeah. I bought that on CD. I have that on CD somewhere. I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you
Yeah.
do because I can't
It's a
find it.
good compilation. It's good.
It
Yeah.
is. It's a great summary of his career in it, and I think there's like 2 new songs on it, and otherwise it goes right through Where the Pieces Fit from '89.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
Yep.
let's talk about the album.
Okay.
Album was recorded primarily at the Fillmore West in San Francisco, California. The vast majority of the songs were recorded from the June 15, 1995 show, although the last track is from the second night he would play there, which would have been June 16, 1995. So we have the introduction here, just like we did on the original Frampton Comes Alive. We open with Day and the Sun. Day and the Sun was from the self-titled album from 94. Tom, what do you think of this track?
I think it's a great opener. I really do think that I think he was pretty inspired by that 1994 self-titled record. And I think for good reason, it's a good record. And I really think it got pretty overlooked at the time. And so did this record. Because, I think it sold a little bit, but to the faithful, but, I really think it deserved more. I think it was a really good record. And Day in the Sun is like, man, it's an opening rocker and Peter is just smoking on slide guitar. And I love the chorus. I think it's got a great chorus to
Oh
it.
my
It kind
gosh.
of, it's got a very cookie chorus. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic song. What do you think?
I feel this exact same way because I remember when this was getting played on 107.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, and I liked where the pieces fit, or where all the pieces fit, but this to me was like a step forward. And
Yeah.
this was,
Yeah.
I always thought this single deserved more. It got played a little bit on AOR, but not a lot. It surprised me that his later records around that period didn't get more of a push because you had a lot of artists from the 70s were making like a comeback there in the late 80s and early 90s. I thought with Eric Clapton getting played a lot more
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
record.
Mhm.
And Steve Winwood, for example, getting played more. And then the Allman Brothers band comes back and they do,
Right. Yeah.
and Little Feat did the same thing. It,
Right.
they were getting all the kinds of love on your album oriented rock stations.
Right.
I thought Peter Frampton was going to get the same with this album. Now this was a little later. This came out
Mhm.
the heart of grunge, but
Yeah. Yeah.
you're still hearing this kind of music on AOR. It's just sharing the love with the grunge acts like the Stone Temple Pilots and the Alice in Chains at the time. But this
Right.
is a very well crafted song, and I've always loved this. And like you said, that chorus on there is wonderful, but and the solo. I thought this should have done more for him, but it's a fantastic opener, no question. I don't know. I don't see how you can open this with any other song from
Yeah.
his most recent output at that time.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next we're gonna go for with Lying. This was from his 1986 album Premonition. This got some AOR airplay back in the day, and this was a minor chart single on the Billboard Hot 100. What do you think of this one?
Oh, I think it's another winner. I think Bob Mayo moves to keyboards and it's just Peter on guitar. And again, he's just I don't have to keep repeating how great he is on guitar, but he just is. He's just this whole concert, he's just killing it on
Yes, indeed.
guitar. And but it's another rock, it's kind of, he rocks it up a little bit more, I think, live, which I think is great. And it stands up really well live. I just think it's I think it's a great, I like the lyrics. I love the lyrics. I like the singing again, his voice is also on fine form. I think. And he's, you just, when you listen to this album, you're like, man, this guy's so talented. And Lying is another a rocker, and I like it. Two rockers in a row. I love it. I think it's great.
I feel the same way. And I listened to the original on Premonition just a couple days ago. I'm like, I forgot how much the original sounded like a Steve Winwood song
Yes,
because it's
yes,
so layered in keyboards, and the keyboards are really carrying the rhythm on there. Here, this really rocks out. And when I saw him, it would have been the last time I've seen him to date, would have been in 2018 at the FM Kirby Center. He played this second that night too, and it
yeah,
were so well. And I mean, this just keeps up the momentum on the album. This is an excellent second track here. It's very melodic, very catchy. Love it.
yep.
And now we're going with one of the 5 songs on this album that would make their debut on here. The thing with this live album, we're not hitting the previous several albums that he had done after Frampton Comes Alive 1, which,
Right,
the first album, the first Frampton Comes Alive, he was playing tracks from those first 4. And you would think that's what he would do. Now, there were several albums in here, more than 4, of varying quality, I would say, too. But here, I believe that him and John Regan who was his bassist, and he was with him for a long time. He's passed away recently. Rest in peace, John Regan.
R.I.P. Yeah,
Yes. So they were writing a lot of songs at this time, and they decided they were going to debut them on this live album. And first song I'm talking about, though, is fantastic for now. That's the thing. I'm saying all this stuff like is like you're thinking he's gonna say, oh, these aren't as good, but most of these are pretty good, these live songs. And for now, is one of the better tracks. I love that rousing chorus on there. I like the spoken verses. He's talking in that distinct English accent
yep,
of
yep,
his, and I love it.
yes.
And
She
but
brings me my coffee or whatever he says.
exactly, yeah. The chorus on here is so joyous. And
Oh man, yeah,
love it.
yeah. That, that's what I have in my notes. I have the
Yep.
power chords and a really cool soaring chorus.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Excellent. And like when I think I might have heard this a little bit. Oh, actually, I'm thinking of a different track when another short title. But this is something I think could have crossed over to AOR as well. I think it may have been a single. I'm not sure. But
Yes.
excellent.
Really good. Really good. Isn't this is the one that kind of reminds me a little bit of Cheap Trick? Isn't this the one that na 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 na?
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yes.
kind of reminds me like a Cheap Trick chorus,
Absolutely.
you
It's very
know?
cheap trick.
Yeah.
Great call on that.
Yeah.
Next,
Yep.
yeah. So next track we have is Most of All. Now, this is more in vein with what Peter would do later in his career. He was writing more ballads.
Right.
He was
Right.
writing more mid-tempo stuff. You could possibly say adult contemporary. And I think with Peter, though, a lot of his songs that are in that kind of vein have a little more bite to them. They're a
Right.
little more organic. And
Yes.
his guitar playing really stands out on these tracks. And again, like For Now, I think this works. But even
Mhm.
though most people wouldn't know it outside of people who were at that show or saw them on that tour or listened to this album, this works out very, very well. It's a very strong ballad, very mellow, becomes very dramatic in the solo section. Peter sounds wonderful on his
Yeah.
vocals here. I think
Mhm.
this fits in like a glove.
Yeah, no, I felt the same way about Most of All. Yes, it's a power, it's sort of getting close to a power ballad, and like you said, kind of mid-tempo, but it's a very pretty melody. Like the melody's really, and he sings it so well. And it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a slowdown. He's rocking hard at the beginning, and then he kind of slows it down a little bit. And yeah, is it moving a little bit more towards AOR-ish territory? Yes, it is, but to your point, the live version, especially, he does this a lot with he did this on the first Frampton Comes Alive, where the live version sounds way more organic and sounds like a band playing live, which it is. And it makes it more palatable, I guess is the word,
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah. So,
Perfect.
yep.
And then after that, like on the CD, he goes into this little solo, but it's more about atmosphere, this guitar solo. It's
Mhm.
listed on at the end as an extension of the song Most of All, but it's actually the beginning of the next track,
Mhm.
which is You.
Yes.
This got some AOR airplay. And this, in my opinion, more than Day in the Sun, should have been bigger. I think this is wonderful. This is my favorite song on the album. This or maybe Day in the Sun. They're fighting it out, but I'd probably go with this song. I
Yeah.
think this is excellent. This was originally from the self-titled Peter Frampton album from 1994. I think this is a beautiful melody. It's just a song about, I'm down on my luck and things aren't going so way. And then I met someone and they changed my life. Very
Yes.
universal feel.
Right.
And it's just very, very memorable. I love the harmonies behind Peter
Yeah.
in the
Yep.
choruses.
Mhm.
Magnificent. What would you?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's my favorite on the record as well. It's an excellent song. And I just think it's so melodic. And I'm like, how, like you said, how is this not a hit? Like this was like, it's such a beautiful track, and it's so well crafted. And it's like you said, those harmonies in the background and that chorus. And I mean, but you're thinking, like, if there was a record company, they heard that song, I'd be like, that's the song. Like, we got
Yes,
to push that song. And live, it's even better. I think it's even better live. So,
I agree.
yeah, I mean, man, and he's playing a Telecaster, which is cool. So you don't see him playing a Tele that often. Um, and he tears it up, and I think it's a great song. Like, it's definitely I think it's my favorite as well on the album. So there you go.
Awesome. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, now we go into a song that's a little more of a ballad than You. It's not more adult contemporary, I think, because it's not doesn't have the soaring chorus on it, but it's still very well written and crafted. And this is also from the 1994 album that we've been referring to. I'm talking about Waiting for Your Love.
Yep. Yep.
Nice ballad, cool intro on here. It's very soulful. And I like how the keyboards and guitars complement each other on here. I like the backing vocals on these songs as well on this live album. It works very well.
Mhm.
How would you how do you feel about this track?
Yeah, I mean, this is I have in my notes, I have a good slow roll song. Almost
Mhm.
sound I said it almost sounds like Toto.
Yes, it's
You
very
know,
Toto.
yeah, it's sort of the power ballad-esque Toto song. And it's kind of a lighters in the air kind of song. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, it's again, as like every song on this record, well sung, well played. I mean, it's like you said, I kind of hear the soul as well. Like there's a little soul in there. I'm with you on that. I kind of heard that too. So yeah, I mean, again, I wouldn't say it's like my favorite song on the album, but it's it's well done. So
Very nice.
yeah.
And speaking of you or your, we get into what is Peter Frampton's highest charting hit single, but you rarely hear it anymore. And you didn't hear it at all when we were coming of age and discovering Peter Frampton in full, like in the late 80s.
Mhm.
It's the title track from the 1977 album, I'm In You.
Mhm.
I think the original is saccharine and sappy and syrupy, and this is so much better
Oh
because
yeah.
it's more organic because he's playing his guitar on here. Whereas on the original, it's those sappy keyboards that are carrying the rhythm, and the song really only gets good until doesn't really get good. I'm sorry, until that guitar solo kicks in to remind you that it's Peter Frampton. Here,
Mhm.
it's more organic, as I mentioned. He's still in fine voice. There's a lot more guitar on it. It's got, it's still a mellow track, but got more, it's got more heft to it. It
Yes.
it's got more grit to it.
Yes. Yes. I mean, my notes are almost identical to what you just said.
Okay.
It's one of those where basically, I'm in you is a kind of a forgotten single of his. And it's kind of cool that he plays it. I mean, it's kind of cool that he digs it out and plays this live. Because it's a cool song, but you're absolutely right that it was not done well on the studio version. But he like almost like corrects it here, and they're like, "Oh my God." And
Yes.
when you hear it live, you're like, "Oh, this is great. Like I like this song." It's much better on the live version, of course. So there you go. I'm with
Nice.
you. Yeah.
You're with me on I'm in you.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Nice. Now, here's where your comparisons come with Peter Frampton Comes Alive. One, the next track is Talk to Me,
Yep.
which to me is the By Your Side or the Winds of Change song
Hmm.
because it's well, we gotta have, it's almost like we have a checklist here.
Right.
Great acoustic song, check.
Hmm.
That's how I feel about this. I wouldn't say it's as strong as those ones that I mentioned, but if you're trying to care carry on the tradition or have a link with Alive, Peter Frampton Becomes Alive one, you have it here. This is a this is an original track as well.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I forgot, John. I forgot that there were all these songs that weren't on albums on this record.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of odd. It's like he put out all these new songs on this live album. It's kind of wild.
it is wild, and I'm impressed by the strength of some of these songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next song is Hang On to a Dream, which is originally written by Tim Hardin. I think this is okay, but of the new songs that are making their debut here, this one, I we're getting a little too mellow now because while there's a lot of good mellow songs here, we're getting
Right.
on the road.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
now I start thinking about our friend Grant Arthur
Yeah. Yeah.
sequencing.
What would Grant say?
He he would say we get sequencing because we got too many mellow ones in a row.
Right.
I like it if I mean I'm saying like nice things about you and waiting for your love and I'm in you, but now we're on like the fifth.
Track 4 or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, you is more of a power ballad, but then you got like four ballad. You got like
Right.
mellow ones here in a row, and this one he didn't even write, which is a good song, but I don't think it's as strong as the
Yeah.
others. I like it. I don't, but some of the other new songs I quite love.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel the same way. It's a cover, right? It's a Tim Harden cover, as
Tim
you
Hardin
mentioned.
cover.
And it's it's a good song, but I'm with you. I in my notes I have it's a bit slow and it kind of drags a little bit. It's
Hmm.
a nice song, but it just feels like he's losing the crowd a bit with this. Like you said, four mellow songs in a row. Everyone's like, okay, let's start rocking again. And that's the way I feel about it. It's it's an okay song. It's not as a cover. I think he could have done a better cover. Let's put it that way. It's my opinion.
Perhaps signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours
Yeah, bring that one out. Exactly. Yeah,
because that was a big hit for him,
right.
and he did play it live one of the four times I saw.
Did
So
he? Okay.
yeah, so he just bring that out now and then. So
Yeah.
I would have put something like that in there, and then I'm going to talk about something else in regards to sequencing a little bit later on. You probably know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So we have Can't Take That Away. I believe this is the song that Peter co-wrote with Jonathan Cain
Yes.
from the
Yes. From
Babies and
Journey. Yep.
Bad English. This, okay, it's still a little mellow, but it it has a little more grit to it. But in adding to the link with Peter Frampton Comes Alive and what a lot of people know him for, we got a very extended version here with his talk box.
Yes.
Because a lot of people know Peter Frampton, more casual fans, I would say, know him. Oh, he's the guy with the talk box.
Hmm.
And you don't have this on the original that was on the self-titled album from 94, but it extends his song out a few minutes because he's doing this pretty cool thing with the talk box on it. I like this song. I I don't love it as much as a few of the new songs on here, but it's nice that he has the talk box on there at the same time. Like I kind of like a mixed feeling with it.
Hmm. Yeah, we're lining up so well on this, John. This is crazy. It's insane, but I had the same kind of feeling where it's like this is kind of AOR leaning again, like it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
getting into like blandish territory. It's kind of got that sail on sailor misunderstanding rhythm that
Mm-hmm.
and which is kind of cool. And he kind of tries to bring it to life with the talk box, but it doesn't work as well as like, do you feel like we do? It kind of I don't know how to describe it. It's
Right.
it's not my favorite track on the album. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, and then the next song, and I'm sorry, I was intending on asking your opinion before I would belt mine out. What do you think of More Ways Than One, which was the first single and track from Where All the Pieces Fit?
Um, it's all right. It's not bad. I like it. I like it. I think it was it's one of those albums that I don't think that album got much like play at all at the time.
It
Did it?
it didn't like it charted it charted higher than the Peter Frampton album, and you heard More Ways Than One on AOR. You also heard Holding On to You, which was the first single. And this one's actually the grittier of the two songs.
Right.
So, but
What's your
it,
take on it? Do you think it's better than the other than Can't Take That Away?
yes, I
Okay.
like that. Okay, it's about time we got our rocker again.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, we've gone through, like 35 to 40 minutes of, well, maybe not that long, maybe 30 minutes of slower material. And I always thought this song should have got a little more traction back in the day.
Mhm.
I wouldn't put this on the level of Day in the Sun
Right.
or You as a song.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I always liked this song. I thought it had a really it has a very cool bridge on it. I like this version more than the studio version.
For sure. For sure.
Yes. But
Yeah.
we're finally getting something that rocks again.
Yeah. At least we're rocking again. Yeah.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
we get into the last track, which was a new track on this album called Almost Said Goodbye.
Hmm.
What do you think of this one?
I love Almost Said Goodbye, man.
Me
I'm
too.
like, that's like that. Now we're talking. Now we're really rocking. Yeah. To me, it's a driving rocker. It's really tight, like it's super tight. And the drummer, is it John Robinson? Is that his name? J.R.
A.W.
Robinson.
Robinson, I believe.
Man, he's like killing it. He's like playing it really, really hard and fast. And Bob Mayo is playing guitar with him, and they're just locked in. It's like this. And I love Almost Said Goodbye. I love it. What do you think?
I feel the exact same way. I think this song kicks ass.
Yeah,
This is excellent. This is a very hard hitting track by Peter standards, as even more so by the kind of material he was putting out at this time.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
even if you want to go back to Premonition or maybe Art of Control,
right.
it really hits hard. It's a rave up. You can hear the crowd getting into it as well.
Yeah, the crowd's into it. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's a new track, but it just grabs you, and it's very well done, very well written. And I think this would have worked well to close the album, but
right,
close
right,
the album with an instrumental, which is a great one in my opinion,
right.
on the Peter Frampton album called Off the Hook.
Yeah, I love it, man. I like Off the Hook. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like when he did the Fingerprints album later, where he did all instrumentals. Then that's a really strong album, and there's times where
It is.
that Fingerprints record reminds me of Jeff Beck,
Yes.
and you know what I mean. And this kind of has that similar feel, like it's like almost a Jeff Beckian kind of song. It's cool. I like it. I mean, it's kind of a strange way to close the record, but I do enjoy it.
Well, that's where you're going. That's where I'm going.
Yeah,
Why is it here?
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw him play it live. And he was doing songs off of Fingerprints that night. And have you ever heard you've heard his version of Black Hole Sun?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Insanely good.
Yeah, really
He
good.
makes it good. That is along the line, although this has more of kind of like a 50s rock sound to it in the way he plays. I think it's excellent. But
Hmm.
as Grant would say, why do you put it here?
So,
On the and
yeah.
the thing is, on if you listen to the album, he goes, okay, we're gonna do one more tonight. And I didn't go back to Setlist FM to see if he played this last.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm thinking you put it in there in the middle of the like after I'm in you
Yes.
to get
Yes.
break up the
Get the crowd back up again. Yeah.
now back into it again. Yeah, that's the thing. We had like so many mellow ones in a row. I would put that in the in like where I'm after I'm in you, where Talk to Me is, and I would put it in that spot because I think it would make it a more cohesive album instead of have a lot of songs which are well written, but sometimes eventually it sounds a little too mellow for its own good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, but I like the songs. But Off the Hook kills. But why? Why and why do you end a live album with an instrumental?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's an odd placement for sure. It's like it's if I were at the show, I'd be like, is that it? Is
Yeah,
it over?
right. Like, and I wouldn't mind Almost Said Goodbye, a new song ending the album because it's such a tear up. And
Right.
it's so emotional and passionate, and it's
And it ends on that like on a really tight like ending like and it's like just seems like a perfect ending, you know.
right. So yeah, Off the Hook, it's just a placement. Other than
Yeah.
that, I mean, I love listening to Peter play guitar. I don't mind getting an instrumental or two.
No, not at all. No.
So that ends the album. Now, this came out in a two-disc version in 2007, and the tracks that were on the 2 disc version. On the second disc were songs that were on Frampton Comes Alive 1. Show Me the Way, Baby I Love Your Way, or Nassau, Baby I Love Your Way, Lines on My Face, and Do You Feel Like We Do. Do you feel it was necessary to put out that 2 disc version, or would you have just left it with just the 1 disc?
I think I would have left it. I just in my opinion, I just think it's like, okay, just stand on the new stuff and the new songs. I mean, I know that, you can almost hear like a label guy or a marketing guy or somebody, oh, I got an idea. Why
Yeah.
don't we make a second disc and put the old songs on there so people will buy it? I get that, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you can't outdo Frampton Comes Alive original stuff. You know what I mean? Can you? It's
Yes,
possible, right?
that's exactly how I feel. And I don't own it because I'm like, I have the quintessential versions of this on
Yeah.
Frampton Comes Alive 1.
Right.
And I've heard him do all these, I've seen him do all these songs live. When you go see him live to this day, he's still doing maybe 70%, 75% of the songs were on Frampton Comes Alive 1.
Right. Right.
So I don't need to hear these by the band that he has in 1995, although we have Bob Mayo on here who played keyboards on Frampton Comes Alive 1 as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm with you on that. And just to let you know, I apologize for not saying this earlier on. The band on this album was Bob Mayo on keyboards, guitars, and vocals, John Regan on bass guitar and vocals, John J.R. Robertson on drums, except for one track, More Ways Than One. And those drums were played by Jamie Oldaker, and of course, the man Peter Frampton on guitars, vocal, and talkbox.
Yeah.
So
Bob Mayo on keyboards. Bob Mayo.
there you go. You feel like we do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, how would you rate this album, Tom?
Man, it's a strong live record. I mean, I think if you haven't heard this record, you need to check it out and listen to it and pull it out. And if you haven't heard it, you should go find it. I would say I mean, to me, it's okay, there's a couple of moments that are like have down moments with the maybe a little too close to, like you said, too many ballads, a little
Yes.
bit too AOR-ish at times, but generally across the board, it's very energetic, and I love a lot of the songs. Like a lot of the songs are just awesome, and some of the songs that aren't even on records, that aren't even on other albums. So I would give it a 4 out of 5 for a live record. I really would. I think that's what how I would rate it.
That's where I'm going too. I would say 8 out of 10
Mhm.
because, okay, we have a lot of songs that we haven't heard before, but most of them are pretty strong.
Yeah.
And, maybe we're not hitting stuff from The Art of Control or Where I Should Be or Breaking All the Rules. I mean, that you noticed that a little bit. I was thinking, I was writing down what songs would I put on here that weren't
Right.
the album, and I had, well, I Can't Stand It No More was a hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
maybe I would have put that in where Hang On to a Dream was, but
Mhm.
maybe I'd end it with the title track to Breaking All the Rules because that's it,
Right.
right? Because that's this great rocker with the long jam at the end. You could put
Yeah.
that in where right after Almost Said Goodbye, although Almost Said Goodbye closes this album well. Well,
Right.
it doesn't. It should end it well. I think.
Yeah.
I think it should be the closer, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'd still keep off the hook on there and just have it earlier in the album. But this is very strong, and the fact that they put all these new songs on here means they really believed in these songs. I don't think it was. I think they thought these were good, and like they didn't just do it just out of like laziness or anything like that. Or
Right.
maybe he thought these songs were stronger than the ones he was releasing from
Maybe.
I'm in You
Yeah.
up until maybe the album before Premonition. I believe that was the Art of Control. Art of Control, I know he doesn't like that album.
No, he
So,
does not.
right.
No.
So okay, I could see that. But these songs are very strong on their own, and a lot of songs from the self-titled album from '94, which I thought should have been a much bigger album than it was.
Yeah.
I think we should still be hearing Day in the Sun to this day, or you. But
Yeah.
as it is, I would give this an 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 5, just like you did, Tom.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad we got a chance to talk about this because I truly believe that this is an album that, even though we were critical of a few things on it, I mean, there's not too many that are going to be just Frampton Comes Alive.
Right. Yeah.
And so you're kind of comparing it to that, whether it's fair or not. But for the performances on here are outstanding. And
Yeah.
most of the songs are very, very strong. So it would definitely be an 8 out of 10 on my card, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Last question for you. What do you think about the whole idea of calling it Frampton Comes Alive 2? Do you think maybe you should have just called it something else?
I have no issue with him calling it Frampton Comes Alive II.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
might have been, and it's funny, we're talking about bands or acts that were making comebacks at the time. Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell 2,
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
out 93. And then after this, he did Bad Out of Hell 3, and that might have been taken a little too far.
Right.
I have no issue with him call. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with calling it two. Because okay, you could say it's a great marketing ploy and all of that, but that's what made him.
Yeah.
Frampton Comes Alive. People know Peter Frampton as the guy who did Frampton Comes Alive. And
Yeah.
I think this is, it's a very strong live album. One thing about part one, the performances were so great that they just took you in. You
Yeah.
felt like you were there.
Hmm.
And a lot of times I feel like I'm here too. It's recorded
Hmm.
very well recorded live album.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I have no issue with it being called Frampton Comes Alive II. Absolutely not.
Okay.
So, what do you all think of Peter Frampton's music? Have you heard Frampton Comes Alive II? And if so, what do you think of this album? What are your favorite songs on here? What are songs that you may not be so crazy about? What do you think about the sequencing to this album? What are your favorite songs by Peter Frampton? Do you like his earlier material? Perhaps even the studio versions of the songs that came out on Frampton Comes Alive 1? What do you think of his later albums that didn't get quite as much recognition, such as a lot of songs that came from the Peter Frampton album, as well as the later albums he's done as well? Please let us know in the comments.
We want to know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about this wonderful album that doesn't get enough love. Peter Frampton Comes Alive II.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me, John. It was great.
You're very welcome, Tom. What do we have coming up on your wonderful channel? And I'll put a link in the description. Curlessmania.
Curlessmania. Let's see. We got some stuff coming up. One is I'm gonna say what happened to ELP is something that's coming up. Uh
Nice.
yeah, because their career just kind of went like like it started so high that just and you listen to those first couple albums, you're just like, oh my God, it's incredible. And then they just kind of so that's coming up. What else is coming up? I'm gonna do a lot of prog coming up. So I'm doing
Okay.
Jethro Tull's run from 1969 to 1979. So that 10-year run of albums. We're gonna talk about how that run was just amazing. So yeah, there's some good stuff coming up. I'm excited. Some good stuff coming up on the channel.
I have to ask you though, with that run from 69 to 79, you could have like revolving guests on there, like talking about those albums. Like what are you thinking? Or you want to keep it in the dark on that?
I'm gonna keep it quiet.
Okay.
You're gonna have to find out who the guest is on that one because there's some good guests coming up too. That's another thing I'm really excited about is some guests that I haven't had on the channel before, and I'm pretty psyched about it.
Oh, that's sweet.
So stay tuned in September. There's gonna be some cool stuff coming.
Excellent. All right. I'm really looking forward to checking it all out.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Do what you love, and we'll talk to you soon.